Here we go. Billy Boo. Billy Boo. Here we go. Welcome back to Take Your Medicine. It's been a little while again. I'm doing my best to get in here when I can. Hi, Benny. This year on the 4th of July, we noticed that Bennett really didn't respond much at all to the fireworks, and usually it's a really big thing for him, a huge source of anxiety. We've been staying home in the evenings during the 4th of July for the last few years to help him feel comfortable. And this year, my brother Adrian, came or was with us. So he actually stayed home with the doggies so we could be with the kids at the family barbecue at Jake and Tiff's house. So that was fun. Just wanted to come in here. Oh, first, let me mark it off. Episode 81, Billy Boo. 81! Wowzers, we're really doing it, aren't we? We're really committed. Billy, we can't see you. You're so pretty. Show everybody your haircut. Come on, Billy, can you show everyone your haircut? Come show everybody your haircut. No? You're being lazy? Are you being lazy? I have been learning so much since the last time I journeyed. I was opened up to many different things, and one of those things was the Elephant Collective. They changed my whole life, and now all my social media algorithms are full of elephant videos, and I love it so much. And then AJ came across something called elephant parenting that I was like, oh my God, I had no idea this is a thing, but it makes perfect sense to me. Elephants are strong and wise and gentle and extremely protective. They're very nurturing to their young. And so I just thought, wow, that's amazing that there's now something called elephant parenting. Let's see: emotional warmth, protectiveness, late independence, non-punitive discipline, and connection over control. An elephant parent might comfort a child who is scared to go to school instead of pushing them to be brave or telling them to toughen up. They would listen, empathize, and work collaboratively to help the child feel safe and confident. This parenting style is often praised for fostering secure attachment, emotional intelligence, and long-term confidence. You know, as I have grown as a mother, I find myself very much an elephant parent that does not scream or yell, but that really wants to talk through things and help my children feel heard and seen. And I want to protect them, but also allow them their independence as they get older. A lot of the elephant parenting stuff I've read talks about how they're not big on creating early independence, but rather allowing their kids to be nurtured and comforted and close by for longer than what maybe Western American culture thinks is appropriate. I also wanted to mention something that I don't think I mentioned about the Andromedans, and this is the case for so many beings, all of the beings really that I have met that have wanted to channel through my body. They, just like Jesus Kate used to, but Jesus Kate doesn't really ask for permission anymore because I have given her complete permission always. And Thomas is the same. He always has consent. He always has permission. But Jesus Kate, for many years, did ask for me to say yes in several different ways before she started channeling through me. And a lot of the times that was because I had no idea what I was in for. She has taken me for some wild rides. And some of the time, especially in the beginning, I could not remember it all because it was so intense and she had my brain and body taken over. So it was a lot. As I've gotten better at channeling, now I can remember pretty much everything that happens, but sometimes it's almost like a dream where I wake up or I come back to my body and I have to like process it verbally or write it down in order to remember it, or it might disappear as fast as a dream might disappear. But when the Andromedan people showed up to me, they asked for consent many, many different ways. It was probably more than 5 ways. They wanted me to say, yes, I give you permission. Yes, 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 I give you permission. Yes. And I told them, you are Jesus Kate's friends. You are Thomas's friends. It goes without saying that I give you consent. And they said, it might go without saying for you, but it is very important for us that we receive verbal consent. So I just think it's really, really interesting how these higher dimensional beings respect sovereignty, respect humans and any being's independence and their right to their own body. And that really affected me, that even the Andromedan people, just like Jesus Kate, always ask for consent. One other thing that they taught me about our galaxy is that the name Milky Way is very symbolic, because we are still like a nursing child. We are like this toddler being, this toddler species, and we are still drinking the milk of our mother and dependent, highly dependent on our mother. We will literally starve without Mother Earth feeding us and providing for us all of the resources we need to live. We are like a baby. We are like, we're almost like we're in the womb still developing or something. But the Milky Way is where we receive all of the nourishment in order for us to advance on beyond this galaxy. So I thought that was really interesting too. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about is something that I channeled a message this morning from Jesus Kate about. And it is something that's been on my mind and my heart quite a bit lately. And that is the concept of perfect kindness. And perfect kindness is impossible if we just expect ourselves to always be kind 100% of the time. But maybe the concept could instead be called perfect love or perfect safety. But my husband and I, AJ and I, have worked very hard and through some very difficult things in order to show up to each other with total safety and protection and comfort. And where that comes from, oh, there she is. There she is. What a pretty little lady. Oh, she's so pretty. She got groomed. Oh, you're getting in Bennett's business, huh? Anyway, when AJ and I were first together, I was rude to him a lot more than I should have been. I didn't know any better, and I know that sounds so fucked up, but I was raised by a very grumpy man who I love very much, but he wasn't always the kindest. He wasn't always the most gentle parent. And I was also raised with a bunch of siblings, and we were always, struggling to be kind to each other because we didn't have a lot of direction. We loved each other, and we still love each other so much. But, we would get grumpy with each other, insult each other, say shut up to each other. And so that's something that I really did not want for my children. And I've really tried to help them learn to be kind to each other. One way that I did that was teaching them to compromise with each other and work together to figure out a solution. If they had a problem, say they were arguing about a video game or who gets the remote control, I would always say, sit on the couch and think of a solution together. And if one of them was unkind in that figuring out of the solution, then they lost the privilege of figuring out a solution and the other person just got their way. And so they were motivated to be kind in the way that they found a solution together. And that really has helped them. Now they're older and they're all each other's best friends. And I'm very, very grateful for that. But when it comes to my relationship with AJ, I found myself, he was like my super safe space. And so I found myself treating him worse than I would treat other people. Bless you. And I feel bad about that. I've spent many, many, many times apologizing and crying over this and asking for his forgiveness. But anytime I was unkind to him, he would call me out and tell me, like, I want kindness from you. And it very much is true that if I was being kind to him, he was always kind to me. It was never his natural go-to to be unkind in any way to me. And so it has taken years and years and years and years of me having to go back and apologize when I treated him in a way that I don't feel was appropriate or he doesn't feel is appropriate. And he has had to do the same, apologizing to me when he responds to me. Usually it's him responding to my unkindness with unkindness. And through this process of taking accountability and showing remorse when we mess up and asking how we can make it better, we have created a very real safety in our partnership. And that safety is something that is worth protecting. It is extremely valuable. We are each other's safe space now. I know that if I am mistreated, I will be apologized to and cared for and nurtured and given what I need to feel back to that perfect level of safety. And he knows that he will receive the same from me. And now, after all of these years of practicing, it's just extremely rare that either one of us is unkind to each other. We have a lot of joy and gentleness and tenderness and kindness and love, extreme amounts of love, just like pouring out love to each other every day. We live in this beautiful heavenly space of love together. And I'm so, so grateful for it. Of course, there are days where I feel irritable. Usually it has to do with hormones. And I have to breathe and be calm and patient. And there are plenty of times where I have to tell AJ, I am struggling right now. I need, to just breathe. But every word, every noise sounds louder to me. Everything is more irritating. My nervous system is struggling to find regulation. And that communication helps him understand that I need more gentleness. I don't need him to turn away from me. I need him to turn toward me. And I have had to work to open myself to him and to turn toward him in those moments. And I think of the word atonement. This entire healing process, years of healing now, for me, going back to the medicine, seeing all of the things that are difficult to see, and then trying to figure out what I can do to integrate and work through them and clear them from my being. All of these years of work and trying has really helped me to find a safe space within myself, a calmer nervous system, literally harmony in my body. It's created health and wellness, in my entire being. And I'm very, very grateful for that. But when I think of the word atonement, I think of at-one-ment. I've gone through all of these journeys, going back, like I said, to the medicine and coming through it and having to, there have been times I've had to confess things to AJ that sucked, that were embarrassing, that I had shame about, things that I had done when we weren't together, things that I had done when we were together. Radical accountability, radical honesty. And it has not been an easy process. And over, Jesus Kate has shown me that this is atonement, to become one with yourself, to make all things clear and light, to bring light to any of the dark places. And that is really the key to healing our nervous systems, healing anxiety, depression, slowing down the aging process, feeling light in our energy, is radical accountability to our children, to our friends, to anybody who matters in our life. And even if they don't matter to you that much, it still matters to your nervous system to clear it from your being. And so anytime that I have recognized, oh my gosh, this is really messed up of me that I did this, and I have not been able to see it up until now, I try to make that right in whatever way I can. That has been a very difficult process with my children. It has been a very difficult process with my husband. I have gone to friends and siblings and parents and all kinds of people working to apologize and make my wrongs right in whatever way I can, and to acknowledge the other person's feelings that I may have hurt, whether it was intentional or not. But this is the process of becoming one with myself. And that to me is atonement. I believe that Jesus's atonement is a symbol for us coming home to ourselves, to realize that we are God, that I am me and I'm also you, and you are me, and we are mirrors for each other in order to help each other progress and grow and evolve and strengthen ourselves and learn. And it's just a beautiful process that life provides, that we fail and make mistakes. And when we take accountability and we offer whatever we can to make it right when we mess up, so often that strengthens the relationship. If it's a relationship that is meant to be in your life, it will be strengthened by this accountability. So that is something that I am really thinking a lot about. Is, in the Mormon religion, I was always told to be perfect. There's a scripture, it's like, be ye perfect even as your Father, or something like that. And we took perfection really seriously. I was an uber perfectionist. My children had to be perfectly dressed on Sunday. I wanted always to have the highest calling for a woman in the church, which means like the job that you do within the church. I took pride in, I had an ego about being in 6 Relief Society presidencies before I left the Mormon church. That was something that I'm like only 27 or 28 years old, and I had been within the leadership of the church that many times, and that made me feel like a better Mormon or something, But now I look at perfection and I really see that it actually is attainable, that heaven can be and exist here on earth. And it's because we can create heaven within us. We can clear out the programming and get back in tune with our higher self, literally come into the body as our higher self. And when we do that, our relationships will mirror that too. When we uncover the true vibration that we are, which is a high frequency, high vibration being, we are like a magnetic field. And what doesn't belong, what relationships are toxic to you, will be magnetically pushed out of your force field. And all of these things that serve you and add to your heaven on earth will be attracted to you like a magnet. And it's just real, and it gets easier and easier and more joyful. And the synchronicities just get crazier and crazier. We are seeing literally so many cool things all of the time. And I think it's because we've cleared out enough bullshit from our systems that we are really living in alignment with the universe. And it's a beautiful, beautiful feeling that now I just want to teach everybody to clear out the nonsense, clear out the programming, clear out the trauma. And what is left is beautiful, beautiful you, harmony, peace. I tell clients all the time, a healed nervous system is a healed life. And it just is. My nervous system used to be so fucked up, but everything becomes easy. My AJ and I decided to go buy a new car the other day for me because my old one was starting to make noises that were scaring me a little, and I didn't like it. And so we went to buy a car, and oh my God, every time I've ever purchased a car up until AJ recently bought a car a couple months ago, and now I'm buying a car. These last two experiences have been pleasant and joyful and even fun, which is crazy to say because I fucking hate buying cars, or I used to hate buying cars. But when AJ was buying his a few months ago, I was feeling dysregulated. I was feeling all of the anxiety and the frustration of the sales process. And so I started saying mantras to myself. I love buying cars. Car buying is easy. Car buying is fun. Car buying is exciting. And I just kept that going. And knowing that I was going to be buying a car in the next few months too, I've been saying that mantra quite a bit. Buying a car is easy. Buying a car is fun. Buying a car is exciting. And oh my goodness, it literally was. We went on the 3rd of July and we had a fantastic experience. Chapman Hyundai in Phoenix, Arizona. I was so impressed by their salespeople. So not pushy. We were in and out of there in like 3.5 hours, and we looked at several cars, several options, and it was so sweet and cute. AJ was like just taking control of the whole process and like really wanted me to have the very nice, all of the specs, all of the fancy stuff. And it just all felt so easy and so fun. And I just felt like this is a fucking miracle that this process is easy and fun and enjoyable. And the next car I buy is going to be probably a Mercedes G-Wagon, and it's going to be just as fun and just as easy. And this is the ease that comes with this level of work. You go deep into yourself, you clear out what you don't need, and what is left is bliss and joy and literally abundance and more energy and vitality and health. And so I just want to encourage anyone out there who has the desire to feel like their higher self and all that they are is merged into one, feeling harmonious and joyful and happy and at peace. Do your work. Do the work. Start with meditation. Start with getting quiet with yourself. Start with putting your feet in the earth, hugging the tree and really slowing down and breathing with the tree. If you feel called to medicine work, reach out. I'm here. Medicine work is such a powerful way, such a potent way to clear out what you do not need. So I highly recommend that if you feel called to it. All right, that's all I have for today. I love you all. Thank you so much for being here, and we will see you next time. Namaste and Sat Nam.